that is basically what we do. And it's a privilege to have each and every one of you. And like I said, one of the things that we normally do is our training programs, which is majorly data science and data science holistically, like the whole full package of data science. And also for people that want to do specializations also. So specializations in healthcare, specializations in geospatial, just specializations in business-related data science. We run those kind of trainings for people who are planning to break into the field of data science, as well as improve and develop themselves further. So that's basically what we do as an organization. And this webinar series is part of what we use to keep ourselves in the loop of current happenings in the tech space, and also to help all those people that are associated with us as an organization be able to help and improve themselves. So once again, welcome to our second webinar series. And our guest today is a very wonderful person. I'm going to allow her to do her introduction of herself, because I don't think any words I also will be able to do justice to that. So it will be better to hear it from the horse's mouth. And she's going to have about 40 minutes to speak with us. And I will encourage each and every one of you, please use the chat. If you have any questions, put them on the chat. After her lecture, after her speech, we're going to attend to your questions immediately after that. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them in the chat. We'll be taking record of that, and we'll attend to them. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming in. And I'm going to hand over right now to Mrs. Olajumoke Oloyede to take us up from here. Thank you. Yeah, Mrs. Olajumoke, you have the stage now. Okay. Oh, sorry about that.
All right. Good evening, everyone. And I hope that I'm loud and clear enough for you to hear me. Kindly confirm that you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Okay, so good evening, everyone. I think I found it a bit difficult to join the meeting on time. The link sent to me was requested for passcode, which I don't have. So yeah, somehow from one of your colleagues, I was able to get in. All right, everyone, good evening. I'm not sure if there is any foreigner here with us, but wherever you are, it is evening here in Lagos, Nigeria. And I'm super excited to be speaking with you here. Yeah, you know, normally whenever we have this kind of series, sometimes we have foreigners joining and they'll be like, oh, but it's afternoon here. So yeah, but it would tend to have any foreigner in our midst. This is Lagos. I'm speaking from Lagos, Nigeria. All right, can I share my screen? Do I have access to share my screen?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. Okay, I'll be sharing my screen now. I hope that you are able to see my screen now.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, I know I have like less than 40 minutes now to do the presentation, and hopefully we'll be able to get everything that we are supposed to get from this webinar. So I've been honored to speak on career growth strategies for beginners in tech. And once again, my name is Oloyede Olajumoke Elizabeth. I'm a Miss, not Mrs. All right. Yeah, so that is it from my end. So who am I? Well, I will not bug you too much about who am I, but I'm a subject matter expert in cybersecurity. I'm a cybersecurity professional with proven years of experiences across several sectors, from the training education line to information security, information technology line, the managed security service provider. I also have the singular privilege to work with a non-governmental organization. I think I've worked with a couple of them. And then right now, in the telecommunications sector. So I am currently the senior specialist threat intelligence and hunting with MTN Group, where I look after, I think right now we are sitting on 20 operating countries in Africa. And yeah, even though I sit in Nigeria, but I work across the footprint. Okay, so that's just a brief introduction of who I am. And if I am not doing anything tech related, I also try to write. And I think one of the things I'm finding passion for right now, just to get away from the screen, because I tend to spend a lot of time on the screen, is crocheting. So I'm learning crocheting, and yeah, let's see how that goes. Okay, just straight off to the business. Tech. So I'm here to talk about career growth, career strategies, what has worked for me, what I've seen that has worked for others. And basically this night, I'm going to be sharing what has worked for me, in all sincerity, and what has helped me from ground zero to where I am right now. Everything in life is about time and season, and then it's about growth. Whatever you do in your times as season determines your growth. All right. So you may be a beginner today. You can't stay beginner forever. That is if you want to. So it's all about what you do during in a time and in a season. So that determines your growth. All right. So when we talk about technology, people say tech money, tech money, tech money, tech money. Technology is now the new oil. Growing up, anytime you have the opportunity to go to school, they'll tell you just go and read and make sure you work with Shell. Go and read and make sure you work with Chevron. Go and read and make sure you are working with NNPC. You know, our parents, I'm not sure of nowadays millennials parents, but our parents said that where the money is the oil. So now I think where the money is and where everybody is going into is tech, and I call it a new oil. All right, it's a new oil. Why? Because with a tech skill, you stand a chance to get higher pay. Also, you get a chance to work remotely from anywhere in the world. And you also get a chance to have global employers. So you are no longer looking at your vicinity. You're no longer looking at your surrounding. You're no longer looking at your country, but you are now looking outside the country, beyond the borders. So technology provides this seamless, borderless opportunity. All right. And that is why you see people talk about it here and there on social media, most especially that blue app. I'm going to talk about that later. All right. Twitter, okay, it's now X. X is a big platform on its own. And if you're not very careful about it, forget it, you get lost. All right. So that is why people want to do it. People want to do it because there is this freedom that technology proposes to people. Even though I don't call it freedom, maybe not total freedom, not maybe a partial freedom in some aspects, but there's this freedom and value, the freedom and value system that technology proposes to its potential, potential users. That when you are using it, you have the freedom of doing whatever you want to do anywhere in the world, and then whatever you are doing can also yield value for you. It can create a value system, generate money and all that for you. So tech now is the new oil. All right. But when we talk about tech, starting out in technology, I realized that many people are going there because of some myths that they've had, myths that they they hold dear to their heart, means that they look at and say, this is the truth, but surely it's not the truth. Maybe not all of them are false, 100% false. Some of them may be partially true and partially wrong. All right. So when you are entering technology, I need you to check few things. I didn't add that to my slide, but I just feel like, let me flow with it. You need to know that even though technology is tagged the new oil money, it is not when you start drilling that you get to the oil. Please just know that. And I've seen people talk about it. Oh, I just want to get a tech job that will be paying me $1 million. Like a beginner, you're not even talking about 500. In fact, 500 here in Nigeria is not visible. See, I'm just going to talk to you from the bottom of my heart. This lights, they're going to serve as a guide, as a pointer to what I want to really discuss with you. Okay, so when you are starting out, please don't start with the money aspect. Please, I'm begging you. Why Gen Zs and some part of our millennials generation think that everything is about money. I think, yes, money may answer everything, but here's the thing, you can't have that. You can't be in that authority to command the money if you are not providing value. All right, please note that you can't negotiate. Okay, some time ago, let me just give you a brief story. Sometime last month, a recruiter reached out to me and was like, they wanted me on board with their team, let's start and all that. Okay, we started. Everything was going on smooth until we get to the salary part, and they were offering me something maybe a little bit lower. I think it's a little lower than what I'm earning, even though it's in dollars, but it's a little lower than what I'm earning. And I'm like, no, I can't do this. It's either you step up the game or you leave it. All right. And then they were like, oh, we know that you're bringing in years of experience, you're bringing in so many things, but for now, our capacity cannot take you. Maybe next, in the future, we may check up on you again. That's it. We died down. Not that was a week. Then the following weeks, I think 2 weeks in just the break in between, another one reached out and were like, oh, we love your work. We want you to be on with us. We know that you cannot work for us full time, maybe part time. How much will you charge? I stated my rates, and they were like, oh, that is way beyond what we're looking for. But maybe next time we can reach out. All right. So it is not, I didn't start that way. At some point, I was actually looking for where I can learn, I can go for free. I'm going to be talking more about internship later in the course of this presentation. But what I'm saying is that why we know that tech is the new oil money, okay? But we should not just go out for the money. Have a value. And that value is translated. What we translate to the value is going to be your skills. All right. So when you are starting out in tech, please, you need to have a strategic information. Many people move into tech because of the blue app. Hex has given a lot of people false information, or let me say half-baked information. I was in a meetup, I was in a physical meetup at Ikeja sometime 2 weeks ago, speaking on almost the same thing, but now in cybersecurity. And I said to the guys, to the participants, see, whether we like it or not, there are so many people on X or on any social media that just want you to relate. They just want you to interact with their posts so that they can get more money and all that. They'll just be dishing out things that you love to hear. But what you don't want to hear is what you actually need. And that is what I'm giving to you in this seminar tonight. Please just pay attention. So why some people will say, why some people genuinely say it. There was a time I stumbled on an interview from one guy that used to work with Netflix. He said his first job was giving him $300,000 in a year. I'm like, what? The first job. Okay, why some people are exemption, but Maybe 1%. I don't know. I don't know the statistics. You guys are the data analytics, but analyst. But yes, that's the thing. It's not that's always the case. All right. So many people say, I got the job of $300K using data analysis. Enter into data analysis in 6 months and land your first job. It's a lie. It might be true, but it's half-baked. So there are so many factors in that. And that's why I said infobesity is real. Infobesity is just defined as too much of information when you don't have any intelligence. You don't have anything to do. It's not producing intelligence that is actionable. That is what it's called. It's called infobesity. All right. So when you are moving into technology, I need you to check some things. So I have 3 starter parts. Okay. The very first strategy I used, and I've used to coach many people coming into technology, into tech, is 1. Starter is, who are you? Some people cannot sit down for 1 hour at a go, but they want to be in tech. Who is deceiving who here? You can't sit for 2 hours on a seat and you want to do tech. I'm not sure. You know, the definition of your own self will help you to map out who you really want to be in technology. The second question I would like you to ask yourself is, what do I want to do? And the last physical meetup I had the opportunity to speak, I said the same thing. And people were like, how do we bring in psychology into tech? I said, it is real. Whether we take it or we leave it, there are statistics that have shown that people that already understand their nature, their personality, tend to do more, tend to be successful in whatever career they choose, not only in technology. And that's why we're bringing it back to technology, that it's not something that just sleep and you wake up to and say you want to enter and then you want to be the doyen of everything. It is not just like that. All right. So that is the first thing. When you have answered this question genuinely, you understand who your personality is. Let me give you a very good example. I will use myself as a case study. When I checked myself, I look at it that I'm always curious about information. I'm curious about what will happen if I do this. I'm always curious about, I can sit for long hours searching a particular topic for the whole day. And then in Nigeria, in fact, even till now where we are, they're still coming up. Now, then, threat intelligence was nothing like, it was nothing. People don't even know it when I started out, okay? And then I built up that with the help of God. Everything is about grace. I'm a Christian, permit me to say that. Know your God and serve God, all right? So, but this is the other hard work that you need to do that we're talking about here. So we are not talking about the spiritual aspect, okay? So yeah, I just need you to know that you need to have a good understanding of yourself. Many people, they are not fascinated by data, but because they heard that there is money in it, they just go in there. I'm not saying that it is always 100% for you to understand yourself when you are starting out a career, a journey. But most times, at least if you don't know all, you should know a little bit of yourself that you can relate with the tech career that you are moving into. That is very, very important. And I must confess that while we also speak about do what brings food to your table in this Nigeria, in this economy, we still look into it so that you will stay longer and then you'll be able to develop yourself. That's the end goal for some of these things that we are talking about. Now, the second thing is progressive plan. So when you look at the progressive plan, you're coming into data analysis. I know there are several job titles in data analysis. Some people call themselves business analysts. Some people call themselves freelance data analysts. Some people call themselves research analysts. There are different job titles. Now, if I were you, I'm going to pick up minimum of 3. This I have done. This particular strategy, I have used it for a couple of people this year alone, and they are on the right track. So when I'm saying some of these things, just relax, and you can decide to disagree with me in your heart, but just wait till I finish before you disagree with me. All right. So if I were you, I want to enter into data analysis. I'm going to show you a use case. I actually did a use case of what all of this strategy will look like for you personally. I like if you want to personalize it. Okay. You go into it, search those job roles, learn about their descriptions, all of them, one after the other. Then look at their skill sets. What skills are required for a research analyst? What skill sets are required for a business analyst? What skill sets are required for a freelance data analyst? I am very sure, very, very sure, and I can say this boldly, that you will at least have 2 or 3 skills that are similar in those 3 roles. Something that would be very, very similar. All right. So if I were you and you don't even know you are yet to decide which one you want to go into, maybe it's the research analysis or the business analysis or the data analysis that you want to do. Okay, you just want to learn for now. You are in a learning curve. So the next thing I'm going to tell you to do is check the skills that are similar. When you check the skills that are similar, pick them up. 1, 2, 3. No matter how, you will have minimum of 2 and maximum of many that are similar. So when you pick them up, the next question in a progressive plan that you should have is, how do I get the skills? How do I get the skills? Now, you have identified the skills. So where will you go to? Which platform? Where will you learn? How will you go about your learning? How much will it cost you? What time will it cost you? What other resources will it cost you? You have to tailor it out. And that is where we talk about vision and goals. Goals is breaking down your vision into smaller chunks that are easy to achieve. All right? So when you finish doing this, you are breaking it down. The next question I will ask you is, okay, out of these 3 roles, which of them are future enabled? Can you Google it? Research analyst. What is the future of research analysts in the next 20 years? You can Google it. There are many research that have been done, that can give you a clue of it. All right. Why we are in the era where people are so afraid of artificial intelligence and robotics taking over their jobs and all that. You don't want to find yourself in that situation after you've put so much energy and effort into making a career. So I'm going to ask myself, what is the rate like? All right. Now, we are in Nigeria. I'm not saying you cannot get a foreign job. You can get a foreign job, but the probability maybe is between 10% to 15% of getting a foreign job. All right. I don't know you guys own the data, but I'm just saying, from my experience. The next thing you are going to ask yourself is the employability rates. How employable is an entry-level research analyst role in Nigeria? What is the employability rate? Let me give a very good example. In the course of the new year, someone reached out to me. I wanted to do wanted to go into a particular niche in cybersecurity. And that particular niche, I told him straight up, you can't get an entry-level job with this career. The best thing you should go into is look out for entry-level friendly roles in Nigeria. Enter. Once you enter, you'll be able to climb yourself to the top, where you really want to be. So I'm saying this out to you. Check it. How many data analyst roles are open in Nigeria? What is the employability rate? If you decide to go and do financial analyst, they also deal with data, all right? And then you decide that I'm going into the finance aspect of data analysis. What's the employability rate? You can Google some of these things. These are questions, they are researches that you need to make before you move on. All right. So I'll just continue the flow. I've discussed the personality, character check, passion check, and all that. You need to check yourself. Then the next one is a different role. Each role skill sets, and pick similar roles. This is what I've explained just now. How employable are these roles? We are in Nigeria. Please just keep that in your mind. Whatever you are doing, just know that you are in Nigeria. And I know there's this prayer that we used to pray that may Nigeria not happen to you. Yeah, fine. But you need to place yourself in a strategic way such that Nigeria will not happen to you. Let me tell you one thing. That this road that you are planning to enter, we have over 1,001, over 10,000 people applying for that singular one. Let me give you a very good example. A company, my mentor has a company, and then he usually open internship every three months. And guess what? For Q1, he opened the application, and then I'm not sure if you can guess how many people applied. They wanted to take 4 people, four people. They wanted to just accept 4 people. I'm not sure if you can guess the number of people that applied. Over 1,000 people applied for a role that they want to accept for. So when we're talking about this, we are not just talking to you. We want you to understand that we are in the field. We understand what is going on, and we are giving you tips that can help you to stand out. Okay, so when you are applying for this role, what else will now make you to stand out? Let's say, for example, you've checked yourself, you've gotten the different roles, you've decided to settle in between 2, that either ways, I'm going to plan myself. Please, just make sure you plan yourself for either of the 2 roles. Pick at least 2 roles, especially if it is an entry level role. Just plan yourself for at least 2 that you know you can fit in, right? So while you are planning and you are getting the skills, and then you've checked the employability rate, it is futuristic, everything is settled, you've prayed, you've done all your bits, right? What else do you think you can add as a toppings on your bed to make it last, to make you stand out, right? So this is where I just want to take a break now just to give you a use case. Let's say, for example, your personality. You are very analytic. A fun fact, I've once entered into data analysis before. In fact, I know how to use Power BI to some stage. And I know how to use my SQL in Power BI very well. So maybe not very well, but at least I'm more than beginner. All right. But I can't remember anything now. Everywhere is cybersecurity. So at some point when I was just going up and down, and that's why I tell you that infobesity is real. We've been a victim, now we are talking about it, that don't fall victim of it. All right. So when you check yourself that you are very data driven. Anytime you see data, you just want to make sense out of it. I've seen people that they'll just pick a book and say, what's this book about? They're curious. You have this curiosity about data. You've seen a lot of data. You'll be like, what the mess is this kind of data? But you can put it like this, such that it will be visual enough. You are this kind of person, and personality check up. All right. So let's talk about the roles. So I picked 3 roles, right? Business analyst, research analyst, and data analyst. All of them deals with what? Data. Okay. So, and I check their roles and the skills that is expected, that you are expected to have. You want to be a business analyst, you want to be a research analyst, you want to be a data analyst. What are the things, I checked it. The first one is communication. Very good. No matter how analytical you are, if you cannot present and tell a story about whatever you have done, it is 0. All right. Attention to detail, quality assurance. They clean the data, they sort it out. I know. I even remember how we clean data, remove duplicates, stuff like that in data. Yeah, I do. Okay. Statistical analysis. Some of them use there's this package. I can't remember the package now. There's a particular package in statistics. Is this Starter or I can't remember. SPSS Starter. Thank you. All right. So just for you to know that I've gone into data analysis before, right? So that is another skill that you need to know. And then the last one is data visualization. Power BI, good, very good tool. I still remember my Power BI stuff. Okay. So when you've picked all of this, where do you get it? You can get it from online resources and boot camps that people like DataLab Analytics do, right? So this is a good use case on starting. Now, let's move forward. So when you have now started, what's next? You have been applying, you have been acquiring the skills. What next? What should you do? I need you to know that the hard skills are not sufficient. You need the soft skills. All right. So when we're talking about the soft skills, we're talking about networking. How many of you here have a LinkedIn page? Okay, another story time. I went for my therapy session on Saturday. Was it Saturday? Yes, I remember Saturday. And then the girl was telling me, oh, I also want to enter tech and this and that. I said, do you have LinkedIn? She said, no, I don't. She's a grown-up lady, a grown-up. Like, I was surprised. She said, what is LinkedIn? Ah, I said, do you know Facebook? She said, yes. Do you know Twitter? Yes. So you don't know LinkedIn? Oh God, you are not ready. I look at this. I like literally, I was doing like this. I like, okay. So some of you that does not understand LinkedIn, the very first time I would hear about LinkedIn, well, I know in school, they may not teach you many of these things. But the very first time I learned about LinkedIn and Twitter was when I went for my high tea in 2014 or 2015? 2015, I remember. And then the CEO of that company was like, hey, I need that. So that is where I started. And please, I'm not here to talk about LinkedIn too much, but you have to also be careful on LinkedIn when you are starting your career, because LinkedIn can be a talent grave if you are not careful psychologically, because you see people that, you know, I don't know, I don't want to say they are not up to you, or they're lesser than you and they're doing some things, you know. At some point, I don't open LinkedIn. For years, I stopped LinkedIn because it was deranging for me. And at that time, I was in my learning curve. I was in my learning curve where I was growing and still growing and still growing. So please be careful of what you post in there, and then be careful of the kind of things you do. But I need you to know that LinkedIn is a good place where you can get jobs. I'm not talking about one job, two jobs, whatever. It depends on how much you use it. And you should have a strategy about this. I'm going to tell you how you can build personal branding after this slide. The next one is you want to, I'm still on that networking. Please, for every tech, I know this one very well. For every tech niche in Nigeria, we have a field, we have a community. I know data analysis have their own community. In fact, some women in data analysis, they have their own community. Join them. That is where opportunities come from. They'll just send it. Oh, one of my contacts, maybe one of the doyens, one of my contacts reach out to me. They need 3 interns. If you're interested, send to so. They will never advertise those roles. That's the truth. I found that there are many things that go, that, you know, many opportunities that flows in communities that never come out to the limelight of internet. It remains there, it stayed there. In fact, it will get to a stage that they'll tell you, we've gotten enough CVs, please, let's stop for now. You know, so join them, join professional bodies. They're going to help you grow. You know, join them. The next one is volunteering. And that is why the first thing I keep talking about is don't go for the money yet. If you are just entering, don't go for the money yet. I know you want, at least, if you are going for an internship, they will at least pay you stipends that will do your transport and all that. Just know that, understand that you are in your learning curve, and you are in your learning phase, and you are in your growing phase. You don't ask them for, you know, the first job I ever did in my life, even though it was not related to tech, it was 20,000 naira. I was paid 20,000 naira. The first tech job I got, I was paid 80,000 naira. Okay, so this is just to tell you that you don't first enter and then you start earning 300. You start earning 400, 500. You know, so just have that at the back of your mind. The next one is communication. As a data analyst, I don't know if there is anything I need to stand more in this place than communication. You need writing skills. You need to be able to tell your story. You need presentation skills. Write a blog. Oh, you just started as you don't know what to write. That very first thing that you are taught in class, go to your Medium blog, write it. Medium blog is free. You can open as many as you want. Okay? There are WordPress blogs. Go there, talk about it. You are building your portfolio gradually. I told you about the one of the roles I interviewed for last month. Yes, it was a technical writing role. I never imagined myself that I would just be in that kind. But when they saw my little blog, I'm not sure how many blog posts I have in there, but they just saw it. They were like, oh, it looks interesting to them, and they were like, okay, if you can come on board, we don't mind. But yeah, things went south, right? So, but I'm just telling you that you never can tell when that blog will save your soul. It's going to be an add-on. You know, we have browser extensions, right? Add-ons that make your life easy when you are using browsers. It might be an add-on to that application that over 1,000 people have applied together with. The same 1,000 people have cover letter. You also have cover letter. So what will now make you to stand out is what you have built over the time to show them that you are ready for the job, to show them that you are enthusiastic, you are open to challenges, you know what to do. Okay. Then the next one I'm going to talk about is volunteering. In those communities, they have meetups. Volunteer. Talk about what you have done in whatever conference, seminars, whatever they do. Talk about it on LinkedIn. Package yourself. I said this the last time I went to speak at the last meetup I went to. I said it, blow your trumpet. Blow it. You know, the day I decided to start writing, to put in more effort into writing, was the day one of my cyber sisters called me and said, Jumi, I know you are doing a lot. You have a lot of stuff. Put it outside there. Do you know, I sat down to develop a strategy on how I'm going to actualize that. You don't want to see my strategy document. I won't show you. But the truth is that I have a strategy document for it. How many times I'm going to be posting, where I'm going to be posting, things I'm going to be posting, my targeted audience, the time. Everything is in there in that strategy document. So you need to know what to do. And one of the things that you can write about is volunteering. Even if you serve as I don't know, volunteer at any internship opportunities, write about it. Oh, today, let's say, for example, DataLab open up internship opportunities and they call you to come in for it, right? And maybe it's just 3 months. You can decide that every week, at the end of every week, I'll be talking about what I have gained, what I have learned, what I've achieved in that 1 week. You never can tell who will see that and give you a job. I am a good example of that. You never can tell, right? So the last one is build your portfolio. So how do you get into your entry level? You have started, you have acquired your skills, you have done a lot. Update your CV. Some people have a messy CV. Please do well to package your CV in the right way. Know what to put in your CV. Your CV, you don't have to put you are a Christian there. You don't have to put that you are from Kogi State. You don't have to put that your date of birth is 2000. You don't have to put all those things in your CV, except you are applying for a government position where they request for age and all that, or except you have a sample that there's a particular template you need to follow. You don't need all those biography, whatever on your CV. What they want you to know about you is what you can offer, the skills you have, what you can offer, and your qualification, your portfolios. That's what they want to see. The second one is have a cover letter. I know my time is fast spent. I'm rushing out. And then I want to talk about a mentorship. Mentorship is very, very important. Please look out for someone that you know that you want to be like. Look out for someone that you know that this person, even though he or she may not be where they want to be, but they are growing. Those are the ones qualified to be a mentor. Have a mentor. They will help you. They will tell you that I made this mistake, but I don't want you to make it. Do it like this. It will save your life. This is one of the things I enjoyed that granted me acceleration, mentorship. You may not be talking to them every time, but talking to them to say, I have learned this. I'm going to do this. What do you think about it. Have their opinion, have their blessings, have their advices, okay? It's going to help you a lot. The third one is, okay, the next one I'm going to talk about is build personal branding. I've talked about this. Have a structures of what you want to do. Where do you want people to really know you? Is it on Twitter or Instagram? Is it on TikTok or on LinkedIn? Personal branding. Yes, these are some of the things. I know people that talk about data on TikTok. They are doing it because they are reaching out to the younger generations for engagement, you know. Just understand your kind of person. If you can relate with the TikTokers, go there. If you can relate with the big fish, go to LinkedIn. If you can relate with people of your contemporary, like your contemporary people of the same age, your contemporaries, go to Twitter. You know, every of these different social medias, they have their own audiences, and which you are going to. Then I can't stop talking about volunteering. Volunteer. Join a community. That is very important for your life. I've mentioned it. And also train others. That small thing that you know about it, about data, go and use it to train another person. You don't understand what training will do to you. It will give you mastery. I've been in training sector before. I gained mastery. That whenever I'm talking, people will say, oh, be quiet, it's relatable. How did you come down to this level? I'll tell them, I was once an instructor. In fact, I gained mastery that I instructed at International Telecommunication Union Academy, ITU Academy. All right, so it helps you to gain mastery. You gain mastery when you train others. You never don't want to keep things to yourself and say, I don't know. What do I know? But you know data visualization. Go and teach it. Volunteer to teach. Go and teach children that are interested in data analysis. Put it on your LinkedIn. You don't know what all of these things can do. All I'm saying is that think out of the box. Let people know the stuff that you carry. Let people understand that you are not just anyhow person. And please don't stop learning. All right. So I think my time is fast spent. And yeah, I'm going to put a stop right now to eat, to say thank you for this opportunity. I'm not sure if I'm able to convince you and not confuse you that these are some of the strategies that you can put in place, you know, to get to wherever you want to go. And you don't stop learning, right? For every stage, for every place you want to get to, right? You have to break some barriers, and then you get to that place. That place, if you are going to this place for now, this place may be your goal. Oh, you want to get to this place, right? This place will now serve as another foundation for another one. So we don't stop learning. We don't stop growing. We don't stop doing things. All right? Learn to build your brand. I would have loved to cite a lot of examples, but I know time will not permit me. But one thing I know is that personal branding has helped a lot. I have, apart from myself, I have people around me that personal branding has helped them a lot. Like, it has given them this voice, different awards, just because they talk about what they know. Those little things that you say, oh, it's little. You know, let me say this to round up. During the last physical meetup I was last month, I said something. I said, when you go to LinkedIn, right? That somebody, maybe an electrical engineer graduate, or maybe it's just a student, change a bulb. There's a way these Americans, these foreigners will put it that will make you to feel like, hey, this person did this. But actually, it was a small thing. Understanding the power of words, communication, storytelling, presentation. This is going to save you a lot. All right. We can connect on LinkedIn as Olajumoke Oloyede Elizabeth. I have a small blog I run as well, a Medium blog. And you can connect with me on Twitter. I'm not that active on Twitter, but on LinkedIn, you can see me there. And then every Tuesday, you can receive my blog post on cybersecurity alone. I don't do data analysis. All right. So my email is open. If you need any mentorship or guidance, I'll be I'll be glad to give a LinkedIn help, even though I don't have the luxury of time, but I will try to do that. Okay, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you
we can
very
take
much.
questions.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was really an insightful session. And there was a lot. It was really packed, and there was a lot. I think probably maybe we'll consider maybe in the future maybe breaking some of the subtopics you have into like full-blown topics, and you can come in again and just go into them in more details, stuff like that, because it was really interesting. Yeah, I was really packed and stuff like that. At least from my own end, I learned a new word today, infobesity.
Yeah,
I don't know whether it's an actual word, but it's something that, yeah, if you're online, you will see it a lot. I've been looking for a word to describe it, where people just pump in information, learn data analytics in 3 months, and earn $10,000 every day and stuff like that. So that is very real and stuff like that. But do we have any questions? Does anybody have any questions? Very quickly, our time is fast spent. Does anybody have any question? You can indicate if you have a question or put it on the chat. Any questions, please? Okay. Joy Baba raised her hand. Do you want to speak?
She can use the chat section.
Okay, put a question on the chat, Joy, please. Oh, why Joy puts in a question on the chat? I think someone sent this to me. I think I wanted to send it generally, but somehow it ended up like a direct message. So the question is it good to have a financial growth timeline, or do you just go with the flow?
Okay, yeah. I think either way is the way, all right? But they all have one advantage against the other. Okay, so financially, you can say, I would say you should have it. You should have it. Personally, I would say that. Why? Because it will aid your journey, like it will aid your learning. It will aid your growth. One thing is sure, if you don't have the skills, you don't have anything to offer, you can't get that thing that you want to get. So you will be forced to work it out. So yeah, you can have it. And then if you just move with the flow, like me, I just move with the flow. In fact, I never imagined getting to this stage at this time, but I just moved with the flow. But for some people that find it very difficult to be self-motivated, they should not move with the flow, please. If you are a very strong-willed person like myself, you are self-motivated, you can just motivate yourself. You don't have any cheerleader, you are your own cheerleader. You pat yourself at the back and then you go. You can move with the flow. And in no time, you will see the growth. But if you are not, and this buttress down to personality as well, if you are not a self-motivated person, please just have it on the wall. I used to have a vision board every time, at some point, I developed that attitude. Okay, so you can just have that and say in the next, make it smart, please. A timely, achievable, smart, relevant, measurable goal. Make it smart and say between 0 to 3 years of my career, I want to be able to earn the minimum of so. I'm not going to give you a number, so you won't take that back at home. Yeah, so that's my answer to that.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think Joy has put in a question. She said, how do we find the balance to build a personal brand, especially online, while trying to come out of imposter syndrome, especially from the infobesity one finds online? Yeah. Imposter syndrome is a real thing. Yeah.
This is actually very, very real. So I still spoke to one of my mentees about this particular question Joy asked on, I think yesterday. I just sent her a note that imposter syndrome is real. I was once there. In fact, I packed my load from LinkedIn. I left. I left for like 2 years before I moved back. So just for you to know, if you are this kind of person that you think that you don't worth a thing, just don't worry about this thing. Like, just continue to put it up there. Since I started working with foreigners, okay, with people of different cultures and different backgrounds, those white people that we think that they know a lot, I found out that Africans, Nigerians are way better off. I'm not here to talk about the working culture, because at some point I can deviate to that part. But the truth is that they are so afraid of Nigerians, because they know that we have this can-do spirit. We just can do it. We just want to prove to people that we can do it. So when you develop that kind of spirit, it's going to help you a lot to move out of that imposter syndrome. So let's start little. You can start every month. Make sure you write something about data analysis. In fact, I have a friend that moved to the UK for masters in data science, and she's doing pretty well. In fact, LinkedIn just mentioned her as one of the top voices in data analysis. How did she start it? She started gradually, every day. I noticed that every day she was doing it. She was just writing something small. She would just pick one word, break it down, and that is all. Before you know it, she started, everywhere. And you can also start the same thing. In fact, let me give you an idea that just come to my head. You can talk about data analysis keywords. There are many of them. Pick one every week. Talk about it. Pick one every week. Talk about it. Tell them where it is applicable to business. And that is all. You don't need a long post like I do now. You just need maybe 100, 200 words every week. Before you know it, you develop this confidence. You develop this inner strength within you to talk about it anywhere you go. You just have to start. If you don't start, you will be drawn in imposter syndrome, which you don't want to be.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, and it can be overwhelming, especially as a newbie, especially if you get to LinkedIn. You see a lot of things and you'll be wondering whether you're really in the right place.
Exactly.
So do we have any other question before we call it a night? Do we have any other question? Please indicate if you have a question so we can quickly round off. We have actually exceeded our time.
I'm not sure if I saw that correctly. I think I saw one pop up in chat.
Somebody somebody said, what do you recommend as a strategy to managing tight schedules and meeting up to vital tasks and one person? So probably like a work-life balance kind of thing, and one person else like.
Okay, a work-life balance. Okay, well, I think I'll just answer that question in respect to the person already left. I'm not sure. Okay, he joined again. Okay, so I'll just answer that question in respect to what we are talking about. Okay, so set a time. Set a time. For example, it can just be once in a month. You just know that no matter what, once in a month, you are going to do 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me tell you a very good example of how I started. I have this in my strategy document to learn at least one tool every week. One, I'm not even doing 2. I just want to do 1 throughout that week. And that's it. Then the next thing I do is to write about that tool. And that is it. You can just start gradually. I know that tight schedules and all that can be very, very frustrating, but you can have a scheduler, like you can have an app that can help you, remind you way ahead. Let's say you want to write every week, every Saturday, or no, you want to write every Monday. Set an alarm from Saturday to remind you that you need to write on Monday. That weekend, you can just use 1 hour, 2 hours, write whatever you want to write. It is easier that way to have it down, to have it prepared before you start every Tuesday. What I do for my Tuesday too, I used to have write every Tuesday on a particular tool in cybersecurity. Okay, so what I do is every weekend I'll just try and check which one am I going to do? What's, I may come across a tool very interesting, something very interesting. I'll just note it down. In fact, randomly, something might just occur, something might happen in your organization, and then you'll be like, let me just voice out my own opinion. You are responsible for your opinion, just send it out there, talk about it. Before you know, people will start engaging with it. Oh, I agree with you. No, I partially agree. Before you know it, you start to develop this, good sensation to write, to build your life and all that. And then apart from that, maybe your personal life, yeah, weekend is for rest. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm the right person to answer that, because I'm always indoor typing, using one thing or the other on my system. Yeah, but you can try that.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's very true. You have to. I think one of the vital things she said that even personally I've known is that scheduling kind of helps you a lot. If you can just map out a plan, you'll see that you can actually get time to do some certain stuff. If you can just map it out, okay, I want to do this at this time, I want to do that at this particular time and stuff like that. It helps a lot. Also, like creating kind of order of priority for the different stuff that you need to do will also come in very handy.
And when you fail, just permit me to say this, please.
Yeah.
When you fail one time, please don't give up. Be vulnerable. Please, I just need to state that. Be vulnerable. You can't achieve 10 things in a day or in a week or in a month at once. It's a gradual thing, but just make sure you continue to do it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So thank you very much. This was truly a wonderful and interesting session. I really learned a lot, and I'm very sure our participants did also. So with this, I think we have come to the end of our session today. We had Miss Olajumoke Oloyede, and she has given us a bit of insights especially for people that are beginning, and how the growth strategies that they should employ to have a very fruitful career. So that will be all from us here at DataLab Analytics. I am Izwani Aka, data scientist and machine learning engineer here. At the beginning of the session, you met with Mr. Olayemi, who is the senior data scientist also here at DataLab. And from all of us at this organization, that's this buy from us, and hopefully that we kick on in our tech careers and have a very wonderful and successful one. And from our guests today, we want to extend a very big thank you to you for giving us such information. Hopefully, like I said, we can see whether we can get you back on again to see how we can expatiate on some of the things that you have touched on very briefly. So thank you very much, everyone, and do have a wonderful evening.